everybody. I am so excited to be here and really just connect with all of you wonderful ladies. I just have to tell you, I have been having such a beautiful experience when I connect to the energy of this group all day, really, and especially for the last couple hours when I was thinking about doing this live. I just felt this really beautiful energy around this group and around the energy of this live. So I just want to say thank you already. And I'm super excited to be doing this with all of you and to just be sharing the power of the work that I do because it's truly powerful, it's truly magical, and I'm just really excited to talk about it with people that want to talk about it and could benefit from this work. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Elise Basine. They call me the Metamorphosis Queen because I guide women to a radical metamorphosis utilizing breathwork and my psychic gifts. So today I am really here to talk about breathwork and why it is such a powerful tool for your ascension. And I just want to first start off by explaining a little bit about how I got involved with breath work and how it has completely transformed my life and really has shaped who I am in many, many ways. So I discovered breath work almost 20 years ago when I was 19 years old, and I really didn't know what I was doing then, but I was for some reason drawn to breath work and the healing arts. And I think I was at a place in my life where I was really just looking for answers. I was looking for a deeper purpose around what my life was about and why I was here. And I think I knew intuitively that I was put on this planet for a reason. I think I knew that I was a healer and I was put on this planet with a mission of helping other people heal, raising the vibration of the planet, and guiding others to ascension, which now is full on happening. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, the ascension of the planet and our consciousness. But yeah, so I discovered breathwork at the age of 19 and I healed myself from major anxiety and I healed myself from an eating disorder and I healed myself from really just being incredibly unhappy and not understanding why. And I started to take responsibility for my life in a new way and I was given tools that I really started to utilize that really grounded me into creating the life that I wanted. And it was the first time in my life that I really realized that I was the creator of my reality. And breathwork really empowered me to realize that I was creating my life and I could create the life that I truly wanted. And breathwork really allows you to make major shifts in a short amount of time because of the sheer amount of energy that you can move through the body and release. Okay. So, yeah, so I discovered breathwork at 19. I healed myself from a lot of different things. And, I moved on with my life. I became a school counselor. And more recently, I shifted into starting my business as a healer. And breathwork is the foundational tool that I use in my healing with clients. As well as my psychic abilities. And just in the past year or so, I've really started to tap into my psychic abilities and understand my connection to source and be able to channel and connect to different beings in other dimensions and really start to be able to receive divine messages for people. And one of the things that I really specialize in is being able to see where other people are stuck and what's holding them back from really connecting to their true purpose on this planet. So I use a combination of breath work and my psychic gifts to help people release what is blocking them and where they're stuck in order to really step in to their divine gifts and be able to share them with the world, because right now we are at a pivotal point on this planet where we are being asked to ascend, right? We are being asked to step up and let go of those stories that we're telling ourselves about why we can't do it and why we're not good enough, and step up to help others and be healers. And I know that if you are in this group, you are definitely a healer, and you are definitely here on this planet to help others heal. So that is part of my message and part of why I'm here as well. So, sorry, I just want to look at my notes because I don't want to miss anything. So, I'm going to talk about what the breath work is that I do and why it's so powerful. So, the type of breath work that I teach and that I do with my clients is called conscious connected breathing. It's a super simple breathing technique. It's a circular breath in and out through the mouth. And it really is just breathing with no space between the inhale and the exhale. And if you want to understand more about the actual breathing technique that I do, you can join my Facebook group, which is above, and I have a free breathing exercise that I offer there in my group. Also on my website, which I'll share, I don't think I shared that, I have a video of how to do the breathing technique that I teach. It's much more effective when you do it with a facilitator, but you can also do it on your own and still receive some pretty powerful effects. So there are a few things happening when we practice breath work. And this is the thing that I really want everyone to understand, because this work it will be such a powerful supplement to whatever other personal growth work you're doing. And I know this group that I'm in, I'm sure all of you are doing a lot of amazing personal growth work. Like I said, I'm sure you're all healers yourselves and you've already done a lot of work. But breath work is really the most powerful supplement that you can provide yourself to all the other growth work that you're doing, because I'll tell you why. So here's what's happening when you are doing breath work. There's two things happening, right? The first thing is you are forcing yourself to be in the present moment, right? And we all hear like, oh, be present, like be in the present moment, like, and what is that really? And what is the value in that? And the value in that is when you are forcing yourself to be in the present moment. Because when you think about it, when you're breathing and when you're consciously focusing on your breathing, it's impossible to be stuck in the past or worried about the future, because you can't take a breath in the past and you can't take a breath in the future. So when you are consciously breathing, you are in the present moment. And why is that so powerful? Well, when you are in the present moment, all of a sudden, everything that happened to you in the past doesn't exist. All of your worries and limitations that you set for yourself in the future no longer exist. All of those stories that you're telling yourself about what you're capable of no longer exist. All that exists is you and infinite possibility. So when you are connecting to the present moment, you are connecting to the field of infinite possibility. And when you do this on a regular basis, you essentially become infinite possibility. And all of a sudden, all of those limits that you set for yourself, all of those things that you thought you could never do, all of a sudden become possible for you. And you start creating things, sometimes without even realizing it, that you never thought that you could create. Or you become an amazing manifester, an amazing creator, because you are tapped in to this field of infinite possibility. And I have this joke, funny story that I always tell, because, I started doing breath work at such a young age, and I feel like I really began to utilize these tools so young that they really became integrated in my life. And my husband always makes this joke that, like, oh, everything always works out for Elise. He's always like cracking this joke at me that even if it seems like something goes wrong for me, it always ends up working out, or I always end up getting the thing that I intended. And I truly believe it's because at this young age, I began to tap into this field of infinite possibility, and I started to do it without even realizing it. Because when we utilize the power of breath work, we connect ourselves to the field of infinite possibility, right? The quantum field where anything is possible. So we're no longer stuck in the 3D reality telling us you are only limited by these physical limitations that you have, right? There's only this 3D, the stuff you can see, hear, taste, touch, or feel, right? In the quantum field, all possibilities exist at the same time, right? This is 5D reality, the fifth dimension, which I'll get into in a little bit at the end of this conversation. But when we utilize this power of the breath, we are continuously connected to this field of infinite possibility, making anything possible for us. And that is the magic of this work. So that's one. That's the first thing that's happening when you are in a breathwork session. Second thing that's happening, other than tapping into the present moment, you also begin to move energy, right? And that is one of the major differences between breath work and, let's say, meditation, right? Or even just other pranayama techniques. The breath work that I do is primarily focused on moving energy in the body. And what happens when we move energy in the body? So, as we're utilizing this breathwork technique, right, we're flooding the cells with oxygen. We're flooding the body with new life, new air. And what happens is that stuck energy that is living in the body begins to move. Oh, you explained 3D versus 5D exactly how I do. So nice to hear someone else say it. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Aaliyah. And I'm going to talk about that more in a minute. But guys, I meant to say this in the beginning, or ladies, I'm sorry. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. I would love to get into a discussion with you about this. As you can tell, this is like my favorite thing to talk about. Okay, so what happens when we move stuck energy in the body? Okay, so as the air is moving in the body, as we begin to move energy, old stuck energy starts to move. So what does that mean? So anything that happened to us in the past that is not fully processed, meaning old things that happened in childhood, old relationships that you are still kind of holding on to, old beliefs, old feelings that you haven't fully dealt with, right? And we all have them because it's not always comfortable and it's not always easy to deal with uncomfortable feelings, right? And especially as children. If anything happened to you as a child, even if it isn't quote unquote traumatic with a capital T, we all have traumatic experiences that happened to us as a child that we didn't know how to handle. So we didn't fully process them. Past lives, 100%. You can definitely process past lives through breath work, and I'll get to that in a minute. Thank you for bringing that up, because that's a huge one right now for all of us. Okay, so old stuck energy from the past begins to move. So everything that has happened to us, anything that we went through, any experience that we had that we didn't fully process and release is holding a chemical signature in our cells, okay? So these essentially are old experiences and memories that we haven't fully processed that are waiting to be released. When we start moving the energy, these old thought patterns, old beliefs, old feelings that are living in the subconscious begin to rise into the conscious awareness so that we can become aware of these old patterns. And not only that, we can physically release them through the breath. So this is kind of twofold, because you're bringing these old patterns and feelings into the conscious awareness when they were previously living in the subconscious, right? So now we have an awareness of the old patterns that were playing out, right? Those things we picked up in childhood or even from past lives, right? We might become aware, oh, I have this inherent thought that I'm not good enough, or that I'm not worthy, or when this happened when I was a child, I created this belief that money is hard to come by, or whatever it is. Those are just some really common ones. Those old beliefs come into the conscious awareness so that we are now empowered to choose out of them and create a new story for ourselves. And that is one of the most empowering things about this work, is that you now have the power to choose out of it. But in other work, yes, we uncover these thought patterns, but in breath work, we physically release the energy from the body. And this is what I really work very closely with my clients on, is helping them to consciously release the energy from the body. Because when we do that, we then create space for something new to come in, right? And that's what's so important, because you can be aware of your old patterns, but it's so hard to release them when they're still looping, right? When they're still stuck in the body. But when we use the power of breath work, we can physically release the energy and create space. What we do is we create space for us to feel those feelings, integrate them, and release them. And all integration means is that the feeling dissipates and it's no longer triggering you, right? It becomes neutral. That's what integration is. So when we allow ourselves to feel these old feelings, allow them to integrate and release, we then create space to create something new. So these are the two big things. We're connecting to the field of infinite possibility. We're connecting to the quantum field where anything is possible. And we're releasing the old stuck feelings that are no longer working for us. So now we can call in and create space for those infinite possibilities. Okay, so that is the magic of breath work. Oh, I have a rainbow aura. Oh, thanks. I love that, and I totally feel it. I am super connected. Oh, you said this sounds nice. I feel so much will come out. Is it normal to cry? Totally normal to cry. And what you can, that brings me to a good point. Thank you for asking that. So what a session looks like and what you can expect in a session. The one amazing thing about this work is I can never predict exactly what's going to happen, right? Some people will cry and have these huge emotional releases. Some people will have a more physical experience where they feel physical sensations in the body, where the stuck energy is physically releasing from the body and they feel it in a physical way. Some people have like an experience of God, like an experience of the divine, right? Some people feel nothing. And then 2 weeks later, all of a sudden, there's a huge shift in their life. So it really depends on the day, the person, and exactly what is supposed to happen. I always tell everyone, when you lay down to breathe, the exact right thing always happens. You never have to worry about, oh, I didn't do it right, or I didn't have the experience that I wanted to have. No, no, no. The perfect thing always unfolds with this work. It's truly magical because you really are giving yourself that divine experience. You're connecting with the infinite field, with the quantum field. So the perfect thing always unfolds, and it may not always look the way that you thought it was supposed to look or you thought it was going to look, but it's always perfect. So yeah, so in a session, like I said, you can never predict exactly what is going to happen, but the perfect experience always unfolds. But what could happen is, yes, you could definitely cry, definitely, some people laugh, some people have old random memories that are seemingly nonsensical. Some people just have a lot of physical energy running through the body. Some people have a lot of tingling. Like I said, it really depends, but those are some common experiences that people have. And then the other thing I wanted to go into is what are the effects afterwards, right? So I just want to talk a little bit about, I know I mentioned for myself, I healed my anxiety and I healed myself from an eating disorder when I was younger. And now in my present life, some of the effects that I have. Hi! Hi, Tao. So some of the effects that I have for myself, and then I'll go into my clients. But for me, I really utilize breath work to connect to my higher self, to connect to my intuition, to receive messages from my spirit guides. I have always been very psychic ever since I was little. When I was younger, it completely freaked me out, and I was afraid of like everything because I used to see visions and I used to see things in the mirror and see things in the dark, and I was always really afraid. But now I've learned how to use my gifts and I've learned not to be afraid of them. But breathwork helps me tune into my gifts. It also helps me tune into channeled messages. I'm very connected to the Pleiadians. If you guys are familiar with the Pleiadians, they are a group of light beings, and I channel messages from them. And I use breath work to tune into their energy. So I really just utilize it now to really tune into myself on a deep level, right? So for me now, it's less about like letting go of the past and more about really stepping into a fuller version of myself. But just to give you some examples of the effects with my clients, I have one woman who started my 8-week immersion, my 8-week journey, which is called the Metamorphosis. It's 8 weeks of breath work and takes you on a journey of uncovering your divine gifts. And after the first week, she broke up with her boyfriend because she knew that the relationship was no longer in alignment with her worth. And she began to get all these creative ideas for new career paths and has already jumped on that train of starting a new career path. One of my other clients who's in my metamorphosis journey, she quit her job that she hated, started her own business, and completely healed her relationship with her husband, which when we started working together, she thought they were going to get divorced. So, some other examples, I have clients that after one session get promoted and get a raise immediately. I've had other clients who, again, like just quit their jobs that they hate and create new businesses for themselves. So it's really, really powerful, and you can create changes really quickly because, like I said, you're literally moving energy out of the body. So you're really creating this space for yourself to bring something new in, right? Because it's great to have these awarenesses of like, okay, I know I'm repeating this pattern. I know I have these negative thoughts. I know this, I know that. And that's great. The awareness is the first step, but giving yourself the space to actually release it from the body is like this missing link almost that I think a lot of us don't realize when we're on the personal growth path. And don't get me wrong, like there are so many amazing healing modalities and healing techniques out there. I just have found for myself that this work works powerfully and quickly. And I'm not going to say it's not confronting. I'm not going to say that it's not a little bit scary at times, because you do have to allow yourself to go in to those uncomfortable feelings. But it's totally worth it in the end for the transformation that occurs, right? And it also really will help you get in touch with what your gifts are, or if you know you have gifts but you're struggling with like the confidence to move forward, you're not sure which direction to go in, or you're not sure like how to get started. This work will really like propel you forward into that clarity and understanding that you want, right? So yeah, so that is what's happening in a session. I just want to go back to my notes really quick and make sure that I didn't miss anything. Oh, why breathwork is so important right now on this planet. Okay, so I mentioned a little bit about the ascension of the planet and 3D versus 5D, and I'm sure a lot of you know about that already and have been reading about this, but what is happening right now on this planet is we are moving from the old paradigm, which is the third dimension, which is all about polarity, physicality, fear, thinking that the answer is outside of ourselves, duality, right? So it's either like fear or love, or love and hate, or and thinking that we don't have full control over our lives, that there's some outside source that's dictating things for us. That's like the old 3D paradigm. That's the old way of thinking. And we are now moving, ascending into the 5D reality, the 5D way of thinking, which is about harmony, love, understanding. It's about multiple possibilities existing at the same time. It's about space and time not existing in the way that we thought, right? It's about being able to time travel. It's about seeing things completely differently and understanding that all possibilities can exist at the same time, right? And it's about living harmoniously with each other, with the earth, and realizing that we are so much more powerful than we really know, and that you have access to knowledge and information within you that is way more expansive than anything that you can find out here. And this is something that I've been learning and experiencing for myself really in the past few months, is the access to the information that you have just by closing your eyes and going within and being able to understand that and understand the power that you have is really what the ascension is all about, right? It's realizing that like there's no authority outside of you that's going to tell you anything. It's about trusting your inner authority and trusting your own inner power. Okay, so breathwork is quite literally one of the best things you can do right now to ascend, because something that I heard recently from this teacher that I love and really resonated with me is around we're actually having to relearn how our bodies function, how we function in the 5D, and we're actually relearning to breathe, right? We're actually learning to breathe more fully and stand more fully in our aliveness, more fully in our power, and be more fully present within our energy field, right? And this is what breathwork teaches you how to do, is step more into your aliveness and fully embody your energy field in a much deeper way, right? Because when we're carrying around old wounds from the past, when we're carrying around old societal conditioning, we essentially withdraw from parts of ourselves, right? Because whether we decided that there's a part of ourselves that's not lovable, or there's a part of us that we have to hide because we feel guilt or shame around that, and we literally withdraw from our energy field in that area or that part of ourselves, we withdraw it, right? And we're essentially not fully living in our true aliveness or fully embodying our energy fields. So what breathwork teaches you how to do is fully step into your own aliveness and actually ascend. So you're literally stepping into yourself more fully by utilizing this work. That's why it is so important right now for everyone to do it, to be able to grow and change in the way that we need to step fully into our own ascension. Because as we're ascending as a planet, right, and we all see what's going on right now, right? Like the old systems and structures of power and the old ways of being where everything is corrupt and it's like power for the sake of power and the patriarchy and all of that, it's crumbling right now, right? Like the truth is coming out, lies are being exposed, and people aren't tolerating it anymore, right? We're all standing up and being like, no, we know that we are powerful. So breathwork is literally one of the best ways that you can step into your own power and start to step into your own ascension. So that's what I really love about this work. But I feel like now more than ever, it is so important to utilize this work and utilize this tool as a way to really grow and change and move forward. Whether you already like have your own business as a healer, or you're thinking about starting your business as a healer, or you know, you're not even sure what you want to do, this work will quite literally help you decide what the next step is for you, because the changes just happen like boom. It really will blow things out of the water for you. It's so exciting. I love talking about this. So, hold on. I just want to go back to my notes and make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to do before I hop off is I just wanted to do a card reading for the collective. So I love pulling cards for you guys, and I just want to pull some oracle cards for this group to just talk about, what we all need to do to move to the next level and activate our own ascension. So I'm just gonna pull some really quick and see what comes up here, see what you guys need to know. Oh my God, I always get this card. Okay. So the first card I'm going to show you, you guys are going to think that this is like morbid or something, but I'm telling you it's not. It's really, really awesome. So this card is the orphaned card, which there was a period of time where I was getting this card constantly. So this looks really sad. It's like a girl that looks like she's all by herself and she's all alone and she doesn't have anybody. But really what this is an invitation to find a completely new place in the world for yourself. It's letting go of those old ties, those old familial ties, those old societal ties telling you that you have to be a certain way that doesn't align with who you really are. And it's telling you to completely cut those and step into a completely new place in society. So this is an invitation for you to let go of everything you thought you had to do, everything you thought you had to be, and really step into who you really are and find a completely new place for yourself in this world. So that's cool. And then the next card that came up is kind of similar. This is No Place Like Home. So this is really about creating a new home for yourself. And maybe that's changing around your physical home, but it's also about this home, right? It's also about this body and this container that we have and up leveling it, right? Creating a new up leveled, ascended container for your soul. So whatever that looks like, whether it's letting go of the past, letting go of those old limiting beliefs, letting go of whatever stories you're telling yourself about what limits you have, blowing those out of the water and creating a container for yourself that is completely expanded, knowing that you can create anything that you can imagine, right? So that's No Place Like Home. It's literally creating a new home for your soul that is more than what you imagined it could be. Okay, and the last one that came up is awesome. So this card is Blessed, which is really just saying like we all have gifts to share, right? We all have our own unique gifts in this world, and if we don't share them, it's literally like causing harm, right? So if you think of it like by you not contributing your unique flavor of healing to this world, you're literally like taking something away from people, because there are people out there who need your specific way of healing to move forward and heal. There are people out there that need you specifically. So this card is an invitation for you to uncover your divine gifts, step into them, and really share them with the world. So I love that. That's really beautiful. And if you want to know more about breathwork and you want to know more about the work that I do, definitely join my group. I have the link here. It's called Breathe to Succeed, and it is really fun. I deliver channeled messages in there and teachings and inspiration for you. There is a free breathwork exercise in there and a free guided meditation. If you're interested in just trying breathwork out, you should definitely join my group and check that out. And also, if you are interested in jumping off that cliff and diving deep into breathwork and how it can completely transform your life, then definitely set up an activation call with me. I would love to hear from you. This was really fun, and I'm looking forward to connecting with all of you more in the future. But for now, I'm going to hop off. And if you're watching the replay, please give me a replay so I can see everyone that watched. And please give me some comments. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'd love to continue the conversation. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.